Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Running Reimagined. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dylan Hopper. This morning, we're going to be covering implementing a dynamic warm-up, why you should do it, and why it's important. And then I'm going to go through kind of a little dynamic warm-up routine that you can be able to implement directly into your training. So before we get to that, let me see here. I'm going to go over and pull up on my computer right here. I'm going to pull up the Running Reimagined page so I can be able to see comments and different things that come in. So let's see here. We're going to mute that. All right. Awesome. How's everybody doing this morning? Feel free to message below. Let me know where you're coming from. And yeah, this one it might be a little bit shorter than the ones I've done in the past, but yeah. So this is going to go over kind of a dynamic warm up, why you should do it, and then some specific drills that you can be able to do before you run that are really quick and easy. But will help kind of get your muscles and your body kind of awakened and ready to go out and run. It can reduce injuries and just also start to build proper form and mechanics. So yeah, so if you don't mind, let me know you're here. Let me know where you're coming from. Then we can be able to get started with this. So first of all, I think there's can be some confusion between the static stretch, the dynamic warm up, a ballistic warm up, kind of what the differences are between those. And really, it's important that as you go through any of these drills, that you're not overstretching through the motion of the drill. So you're just staying really within kind of your normal range of motion. So there's nothing extra that you're trying to do within these drills. It's just within your range of motion. That will improve over time. If you want to improve flexibility, then there's other areas that you can be able to do that. But doing it right before a run probably isn't going to be the best, most beneficial thing for you, especially if you're static stretching a lot of those cold muscles. So really the purpose of this is just to wake up your body, get your blood flowing, kind of, and then get a good stretch while your muscles are in the process of warming up, instead of stretching cold muscles and overstretching to the point where you're going to start getting some of those micro tears and then you go into a workout. I had just read a stat this morning as I was going over this, and the stat was that in the U.S., apparently of around 13 hours of the average American's day is spent sitting, which is just crazy to me. But that's why it's so important that these drills, that we really do these drills. I think the niche that running's within is probably on the much lower side of that 13 hours, but it's something to be aware of, because when you're sitting like that for so long, every single day, you're building the patterns and the habits that aren't exactly going to create a very conducive environment for runners. So it's really important to be able to do these drills, especially if you have a day job which involves a lot of sitting. If it's a desk job, then you're practicing a lot of these motions that aren't conducive for you. I think that humans we're meant to move, and unfortunately it's a lot of our lifestyles and our pattern or habits aren't created for that. So if you could be able to really focus on if you are at a desk job, focus on your posture and how you're sitting, because that can be also beneficial for what you're doing in your running career, because sitting for that long is not going to build great runners. So it's really, really important that you do these things before you run, because you're going to be really, really tight, most likely, especially in your hips, if you're sitting for that long. So Yeah, so let's see. We can go into some of these drills now. So first of all, what I like to do is you start out slow. So everything starts from a walk and then goes to a run. So you're not going to start out, just going into some of these kind of more explosive type drills. You're going to start out with just a walking motion. So if you can start out right when you're about to go for your run, if you can start and just give yourself maybe, 2-3 minutes of walking. So maybe you walk out for a minute and then come back, and walk back for that minute, or walk out for 2 minutes and come back for 2 minutes. That will just help kind of get your blood flowing. Or if you do run real slow, like we're talking, 2-3 minutes slower than what you normally would do for your easy run. It's just really just getting your feet over the top of each other, just getting that motion, getting that movement, kind of getting that blood flow, and then come back. And then when you come back, everything's going to start out, all these drills are going to start out from a walk to kind of a movement of some sort, which is kind of going to open up your hips, kind of get some flexibility going, and get you ready for your run. So the first drill, after you do kind of your initial either walk or really slow jog, the first one that you're going to do is just walking with your hips coming in and out. So what this is just you're just going to take maybe 10 yards. I think that's like 9-ish meters. So you're just going to take a distance from about that. And all you're going to do is you're going to work your hips over the top. So you're going to work from your hips outside in. So just like a hurdler would do as they have their trail leg go over the hurdle, that's what you're going to do with your hip. You're going to get it up high and then come over the top and back down and center. And you're going to do that over and over until you get to the 10 yards or 9 meters and come back. That's the first one. Then you can get to work it out. So then you go inside out. So you go knee up and out. By the way, I was planning on doing this outside, where I could actually demonstrate these things, but it is November in Washington and there's a heck of a storm going on out there. So that wasn't exactly conducive for my lack of waterproof, equipment. So I apologize. I'll have to create a video later that actually demonstrates these. But the hip, just the first drill was just walking hips, just nice and slow, just getting kind of, your hips feeling good, kind of loosening them up, working them on the inside, working them on the outside for that 9-10 meters and then back. The second drill is a side to side, and I always like this one. It feels like just a good warm up. And that's just a classic with your moving your legs, kind of a shuffle side to side. And then I like to kind of put my arms up like this as I go. This one you can do for a little bit longer. But again, this one is it's just a walk. So this is just motions like this. And what you're going to do, God, I wish I could demonstrate this better. But what you're going to do is you're going to go up, come down, and then twist to the other side, and you're going to go to the other side, and then you're kind of going to rock back and forth, kind of arms up, and then back to the other side, and then you're going to rock back and forth in your hips. You have a real wide stance. Your legs are going to be beyond shoulder width apart, and that's what that motion is. It's just rocking back and forth. You kind of get a little bit of stretch inside the groin, a little bit on the hamstring. And then you also get the twisting motion, and then just moving your arms up and down, and then twisting. You do that for about 9-10 meters. You can come back. And then the third drill is walking. This is just another walking drill with your quad. So all you're working your quad. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift your knee straight up in front of you. And then first you want to lift it up, don't pull it up. So you're going to lift it up on your own, on its own power, get it flat in front of you, and then you're going to grab your hands like this, cupping the end of your knee, and then you're just going to kind of stretch up just a little bit. But again, this is within your own range of motion, so this isn't trying to really like get that deep stretch. That's not the purpose of this. This is just get a little bit of a stretch and then let go. And then you can do that on the other side. It's important to let your leg come flat up with you because you want those muscles to fire. If you grab your knee while it's down low and then start to pull up, the muscles aren't firing in the right order, which is could lead to some injuries and different things down the road. So it's important, lift the knee up, get it flat, and then just get that nice little stretch, take the step forward, take a couple steps forward, and then do it again. So you can do that for the 9-10 meters out, and then they come back. And then the last kind of standing walking drill that I like to do is just leg swings. And you can grab just a wall or anything and lean against it if you need to, maybe a post, a fence post, and just get that leg kind of swinging back and forth. I really like doing that. I know a lot of runners like that feel of just, it really just loosens everything up for you. So you can do that where your leg's twisting out in front of you, where we're just completely square like this. And then you can also do it where you're straight ahead and your leg is going forward and back, and you can do that. Again, you can hang on to a fence post if you'd like, just or a wall or whatever else if you need some support on that. But I really like using that drill. I think a lot of runners like the feel of that and just kind of getting that loosened up. So those are some quick kind of walking drills that you can do after you do your short 2-3 minute either walk or really, really slow jog. Then you come back, you can do those drills. They're pretty easy. Again, it's all staying within your range of motion. So as you're doing the sides and the hips and getting, your knee and pulling it up to your chest, it's all within your range of motion. So it's not to get to pull, really deep in that stretch. There's other times that we can be able to do that, but this isn't the time right before a run. So then after that, we're going to go into some moving drills, and I have about 6 moving drills that I really like. When I was in college, we would go through and we had probably a dozen of those walking drills, and then we had at least another dozen of the movement drills, but I've kind of taken out the key ones that I really like, that I think really, I guess, can be beneficial for you. And so I tried to pick out kind of the best of them. Here's 6 of them that I think are really good. The first one is it's just a skipping drill. And it's not necessarily, you're not trying to skip for height, or distance. It's just about getting a good motion going, getting that leg up, holding good form. And again, it's really important to over-exaggerate the form and the key habits within these forms. So when you skip, make sure that your toe, is pointed as much as you can towards the sky. You don't want your toe to be down. So get that toe pointed, which is, only lead you to have kind of a good hip and knee motion, which is going to be eventually completely flat. And then you're going to do that skip, and then you're going to switch, and then you're going to switch and switch. But really over-exaggerate the form as you go into it. Again, the next drill that you can do, I have skipping kind of all as one drill. So what I might do, just if this is just a normal run, go out, do the first skip, which is just a normal skip. In a lot of the running world, they call it an A skip. And again, I'll create a video so I can be able to demonstrate this stuff. The weather outside was not exactly conducive this morning to be able to do that. But then the second drill was a B skip, and essentially what that is you're doing a normal skip, but then as your foot comes up, what you're going to do is you're going to kick your leg out. So it's going to be basically a leg kick. So you're going to come up, the knee's going to come up flat like this, and in a normal skip, this is your quad, that goes down, this is your foot. You're going to kick that motion out. And so, yeah, it's basically just a leg kick out and then a suction back. Like you would as if you were running, like you pull your leg down in front of you as if you would while you're running. The next one, I'm not even going to bring it up. I'll show it in the video, but it's a C skip. And you kind of bring all those motions together, but trying to describe it, it won't come out well. You can go through and look it up online, a C skip warm-up drill. you can be able to watch the athletes do it. It's a pretty athletic movement. And so I'll demonstrate it. I'll create a video with these drills and demonstrate that for you. But yeah, I'm not going to do it here. The next one, again, is the side to side. But this time you're going to be putting your arms up, and you're going to be, it's a quick shuffle motion. So as you see in basketball, as they move side to side across the court, in defense, that you're going to do the same thing. I like to be able to just get my arms up and let everything flow. This isn't like the walking drill where you're going to be twisting or switching to the other side. You're just going to be going same side out, same side back. Just a real good, feel good, loosening up type drill. You can do that one for a little bit longer. So if you want to do that one for 20 to 30 meters, and then 20, 30 meters back, because it's going to go by pretty quick. Let's see here. Drill number 3 is just the karaoke drill. If you don't know or haven't heard what the karaoke drill is, you're pretty much putting one leg in front of the other, and then pulling it back, and it's kind of a dance to it. It's also known as kind of the grapevine drill. You can be able to Google this. I'll go ahead again. I'll create a video that demonstrates these drills. The next one is just backwards running. Again, this one really focus on getting that leg kick back. You know, as long as you're not pushing it outside of your range of motion. But if you're flexible, focus on getting that leg kick back as you run backwards. Number 5 is just butt kicks, which we all know. And again, as you're going through this, try to practice good form. And then number 6 is high knees, which we've all done before. And again, that's just good motion. Don't try to over exaggerate anything. Don't try to do anything that your body isn't capable of doing right now. Make sure it's just all within your range of motion. The more you do these drills, the more motion that you're gonna have over time. And again, you can be able to improve flexibility if that's what you're after in other aspects, in other workouts. So that's not what the purpose of this is. But yeah, really over exaggerate those forms. And then once I would do the walking drills, the movement drills, then we would go into just doing 4 strides. And again, if you feel warm and ready, you can go into your run then. Sometimes I like to do my strides afterwards. But if you do your strides before, it depends really what your workout is. If you have a hard, quick workout where you're really putting some speed into it, I might do the drills before, or the strides before, sorry. If you're just going for an easy run, and you're just putting in time, then I might do the strides afterwards. But again, if you do it before, I do 4 strides, and I do them at 50%, 60%, 70%, and 80%. So I'm never even reaching that 100%. The 50% is just kind of going through the motions. Really feeling good, proper form, over exaggerating it. So then when I get into my actual race, then it'll all feel normal, it'll all flow, and it'll help me be much more efficient. So that's what I have for you today, guys. I hope you found that helpful. Again, I apologize. I was planning on doing this outside, but the weather was not permitting that to happen. So hope you guys had a great weekend. If you did, let me know about your races. I want to hear about them. So have a great day, guys, and take care.